What is up, wrestling fans? Ooh, we're doing a spooky edition of Smark Moment Smack Talk Podcast, the fantasy spooking edition. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango. Joining me, as always, Robert E. Police.
Trick or treat.
Smell your feet.
Give me something good to eat.
Papa Shango. That's what you get. That's what you're going to get in this edition.
It's very bony and gamey at the same time. I don't like this.
It makes you throw up.
It sure does.
You are not going to have a vomit match on this card, but this is a very weird edition of fantasy booking. Considering the amount of different weird things we've booked in the past, this is something that I definitely would put out there as one of the weirder ones. And this started out as me being like, all right, well, what can I do that we can record in advance? Now, to let you guys know, it is 10:20 p.m. on the 29th of September is when we were recording this. So it's going to go out on the public side of the channel on like the 16th or 17th or so. I'm going to be in Brazil at the time, so I wanted to make sure that I knocked out a main event ahead of time. And I figured I would also test out this whole idea of the advanced like screening type things we have on YouTube, where if anybody's on the $5 tier or above, then you can get earlier access to that. So I don't know when I'm going to publish this. I might publish it on October 1st or so. I don't know exactly for sure, but whenever I publish it from that point onward, it's going to be early access. So I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit of people that are going to be listening to this well in advance. But keep in mind, fantasy spooking is because this is around Halloween time. It should be like the week or so before Halloween. And I wanted to do something Halloween Havoc based. Well, we decided that we were going to watch on the fan announce table the In Your House Bad Blood. And that took out kind of the idea of rewatching an old Halloween Havoc. I was like, we'll have just done a fan announce table. I don't want to do that. Let's try to do an ultimate thing. And this went from me going, I'll knock this out in one afternoon, to me booking 54 matches on this.
I need help.
I need a lot of things.
Sick man.
Yeah, very much. And the reason why I booked 54 matches was because, as difficult as it was when I first started this, where I only had a few names of people that I was like, oh, I know I would put the Undertaker on here. I know I would put the Boogeyman. I know Mankind is going to be on here, etc., etc. I only had about 30 names. And it was really difficult to book a card. And I was just like, wow, I don't really like almost anything that I'm booking. But then I thought to myself, oh, I could do 3 cards, and they can be 6 matches each. And it can be kind of like 666 type of whatever type of thing. And then I was like, well, that doesn't really make any sense if it's 3 cards of 6, because that's not 666. So it's got to be 6 cards of 6. And then when I started to try to do that, then I thought, oh, well, there's Dante's 9 Circles of Hell.
What's wrong with you?
And then at that point, I had already come up with subtitles. So instead of this being night 1, night 2, it's circle 1, circle 2, etc., etc. And they all have subtitles the way that Extreme Rules that one year was like Extreme Rules, the horror show at Extreme Rules. Yeah, like that.
That was like, looking back on it now, that was fucking awesome. Weird time in our lives.
Oh, you're going to like this card then, because this is all weird shit. I don't even know a good number of the people that are on this. Who they are.
Why do you do this to yourself?
Why do I do anything to myself? I didn't count ahead of time, but I would say at least a third, if not getting close to like 2/5 or so, like I don't know, whatever I would end up constituting this, are people that I'm either unaware of entirely. Like, I do not know anything about them except for their name and what they look like, or it is people that I am aware of, but I couldn't tell you really anything about them. Like, for instance, Su Yung is on this card. I don't think I've seen a single Su Yung match.
You've seen Su Yung go to work, have you not?
What's that?
You've not seen a Su Yung match?
I don't think I have.
That's crazy.
And the reason I thought of her name to just mention like that, she's on one of these Well, adjust the card if you think that these other people kind of fit. So what this is going to be is this is going to be my crazy ass friggin' brain coming up with all these ideas. I wanted to be as gimmicky as I possibly could be. So every single match has a name to it. And the rules are, some of them are, I'd say a good, half, if not more, are just, it's a no DQ match. That's all I can think of. But there are some other ones where there are some different types of rules, and they all are going to be explained in a 9 card, 6 matches per card thing. I was disappointed I couldn't get the pumpkin patch match in there. I wanted to do that. So that's what you're working with.
Who would have been in the pumpkin patch match?
That's the thing. I couldn't figure out who would be in the pumpkin patch match. Everybody that I was looking at, I was like, could they fit? No, they wouldn't. So it ended up not working out that way. But
they're probably not on the spooky card though. Like immediately I think of like the Godwins because they're farmers.
I mean, if I would have thought about it ahead of time, I would have been like, I've been to a pumpkin patch thing before, and it was a farm, and the hayride, you can have a haunted hayride, pumpkin patch match. But I didn't think about that. And that's
where Midian goes on the card, isn't it?
Midian is on the card. And something else. He's actually going to be on Circle 1. I won over this. So I decided as well to go along with this because if I am recording in advance, and I am typically just not the biggest fan of when we do the fantasy bookings that we just show the spreadsheet. The reason why we do that is because it's easier and it's simpler and it takes less time and all that to sort out, if we were to do graphics for everything else like that. And I have no ability for somebody to be doing those graphics while we're recording for us, like they do with like the Ultimate Show at WWE or something. So I had a little bit extra time to do that and work on this before we were recording. So these are going to be graphics popping up on your screen. So it's going to be a little better than it's going to be the normal. Here's just a spreadsheet of text. The graphics aren't all that great, but hey, look, we're working with what we're working with here. So I'm going to explain this card. Rob does not know any of the matches that I had booked.
Yeah, I'm just here for the treats.
Yeah,
I would like nothing but Hershey's. Thank you. Solid chocolate. Thank you.
With Halloween, what was the ultimate trades that you would make with like your siblings or friends or anybody?
Oh, I'm getting rid of anything. I didn't like Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, they're awful.
I don't like blow pops because I don't like gum.
Yeah.
I don't like gum. Gum is no. Anything grape?
Grape's terrible.
Grape is terrible. Don't know who convinced you that grape is good. Grapes are delicious.
Grapes are good.
Flavored thing, terrible. So I was usually trading that. And I wanted the straight chocolate. I wanted the dark chocolate. I wanted the Three Musketeers. I like that nougat feeling. I like chocolate, guys. That's what I'm saying here.
Chocolate's the best.
I want chocolate right now. I
was always trying to trade for as many Reese's peanut butter cups as I could.
That is the best thing ever.
That is the S tier candy. If there had to be just only one S tier candy, it's that one. But
it's that.
Maybe at some point we're going to do a tier list ranking of candy. There you go.
Like nobody wants your what's a really crappy candy bar that used to be advertised everywhere?
I'm just never as big of a fan of just like Milky Ways, just like caramel.
I was thinking
a lot of people love it.
I was thinking like Mr. Good Bar.
Now, see, I love Mr. Good Bar.
Do you?
Yeah, that's one of the best ones. Love peanuts. So peanuts and chocolate. Very underrated.
I'm a big fan of Nestle Crunch because I like a little bit of that crunch. And again, it's a solid chocolate bar. The Amazing Bar. Literally amazing. I was going to actually say it's amazing. M&M's inside a chocolate bar. Great. Sorry, I hijacked this thing with how much chocolate.
Well, we got to get a little snack talk in there if we're around trick or treat time. So maybe you will lose your appetite when you listen to these matches. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to be breaking this down, explaining my card and my thought process to Rob, and then you're going to get his live reactions while you're listening to this and getting your reactions and all. So I always want to know what you guys have to say. So drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you are over on our Discord, chat it up there at any time. But if you are on YouTube, But if you're elsewhere, I mean, the same thing. But like, hop on over to YouTube, hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, ring that notification bell. As I said, this is going to be on an early release. So if you are on the Pick Your Poison tier, the Darkcast tier, whatever it might be, as long as it's the $5 and up tier, the ad block forgiveness one, that is early access onward from that point. So thank you for being part of that. And if you are listening to this on the 16th or 17th or whatever like that, consider joining over and, helping us out on that. It's going to help out quite a bit. Same thing with the Patreon. It's going to be uploaded on that front. Redbubble and TeePublic is where you can pick up your merchandise if you want to get anything along those lines. Thanks button helps out with a lot too. And yeah. So without really setting this up too much more, I will say that I do not have a card in order. There is not a single, like, it's this match, and then it's this match, and then it's this match. And for the most part, the way that the 9 cards are set up is I tried to balance them out where each card had at least one women's match. I tried to get 2 women's matches for each card, but I ended up not having enough to go around. So I think I'm like 2 shy of having 2 women's matches on each card. Each card has at least 2 multi-person matches, whether that is a trios match and a battle royal, or it's a triple threat tag team match, or it's a 4-on-4 match or something. There are at least 2 matches per card that involves more than 4 people. I'll put it that way, I guess. I originally tried to make it better throughout each thing, where it would be like the deeper you get, the further you get down to the 9th circle, that the matches were better. And then I eventually reached a point where I was like, you know what? I can't really do that, because at that point, I don't have main events for the other nights. So night 1 is very much the worst of the worst that I could do with that kind of a setup. And there are bad matches on each one of these cards. Mind you, this is not a 9-match setup that I would want to see. This is just me playing around and having fun. But there are some good matches that would be on here too. So each one of these has their own little subtitles. And I'm spoiling this. I didn't want to do that.
I don't know what the fuck I just
yeah. I don't want to spoil that too much. All right, so I messed up with the little thing on the screen, but hopefully you didn't see that. I'll just make that the first match we talk about. But the first thing we're going to get into is Circle 1, Terrible Talent.
Oh god, I'm gonna love this.
Terrible was when I was originally thinking that this is going to be just the worst matches. And then I realized I had more than 6 worst matches. So one of them is the dumpster fire match. And this includes, among the possibility of other people,
This is such a weird... What?
Black Rain, the TNA character that Dustin Rhodes played. Damian Demento, the Demon from WCW, the Kiss Demon. Leatherface, who's not featured up on the screen. I didn't put everybody on all these. The Painmaker version of Chris Jericho. Ryzen, remember him? From AEW? The Shockmaster, who's not up on the screen. Couldn't get a good picture of him. Stardust. The Ultimate Solution from the Dungeon of Doom.
Nobody cares about that. You know where you should care about him from? He's Bane in Batman and Robin. That's what we care about on this podcast.
And I almost put in here, but I couldn't justify it. Zion Quinn. And the reason I was going to put him in there was because I was going to go with that Samoan ghost thing that he was trying to call himself. And I was going to be like, oh, let's make him an actual like ghost character. But I ended up not putting him in there. As if I need to maintain the integrity of this match by any means. Look at who's involved. This is a dumpster fire match, in which case the way that you win the match is you throw them into a dumpster that is on fire. Because these are some of the worst gimmicks that are out there.
You know, Jericho's Painmaker, that's rough. I mean, I understand how he got there, but that's rough. Because it started out pretty good.
Well, you got to throw some big names in there. So you got Stardust, you got Painmaker, you know. Otherwise, who's going to watch the match with the WCW Demon and Damian Demento, you know? And I I have people who win all of these matches, except for a few that I'm kind of like a little 50-50 on. More than likely, I would go. This is the stupidest way to start this off. I would probably go in the direction of Stardust wins this, and he cartwheels himself into the dumpster fire anyway.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I don't care what the order of who goes in the fire, but I like that ending.
Let's go to a singles match here. This one is going to be the one-man gang versus Midian, Naked Midian, in the one-man gangbang claw my eyes out match. Because nobody would want to see one-man gang against Naked Midian, where a one-man gang is doing the Akeem dance, and with that name, the one-man gangbang, it is very much a claw my eyes out match.
Okay, so how do you win?
Nobody wins. Anybody who's watching this match, you're not winning.
I thought this was like a Rollins Mysterio thing where you literally have to get their eye out.
I
that
mean,
was a thing that happened.
If that would work the best way, it would be from the audience gouging their own eyes out.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's a real match that happened. The poke your eye out match.
Yeah, what the fuck? What are we doing?
So at the very least, most likely Midian streaks at the end of this. And everybody's just like, oh my God, where are we going with this?
The hell?
I'm going to go do another multi-man match. No real graphic on this one, but it is a Forsaken 5-on-5 match. There is a group from Lucha Underground of Mil Muertes, Barrio Negro Trace, I don't know for sure, and El Siniestro de la Muerte. Yeah, I know who any of these people are for the most part.
I bet you've watched all their matches.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I even spelled the last one wrong on the graphic. I have Sinestro.
Oh, good.
Against a group
God, I see who's on the other side. Oh, God.
The group of NWA people. These are Alex Misery, Gags the Gimp, Judeus, I guess that's how it's pronounced, Magic Jake Dumas, and Mecha Wolf.
Why is Magic Jake Dumas on this? You've never seen a single thing these people have done, have you?
I have not seen a single thing any of these 10 people have done,
because there's the Miserably Faithful that I think covers Gags the Gimp, Sal the Pal, Judeus. There's got to be more. They're the group that snorted coke at that one show.
Oh, there you go. So that makes perfect sense to be on the terrible card.
I'm gonna go with the Lucha Underground team wins because just as a quality show, Lucha Underground was great. NWA.
I mean, this one group's called the Disciples of Death, and the other one's just an NWA group of people. Yeah, I'm going to go the Disciples of Death win that. I don't know if they should or not, because I don't know any of them, but let's go for them. Why not? Let's go to the next singles match that we have. This is Braun the Leprechaun against Hornswoggle, because Leprechaun is a series that's a horror series. And this is a Pot of Gold Rush match where you have to get to the end of the rainbow to win. It's basically like those stretcher matches where you need to like get to the end of the thing.
You could have fucked around here a little bit. It could have been a Black Cauldron.
Well, don't get ahead of yourself.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, the Pot of Gold Rush match, you have to rush to the end of the rainbow. I was trying to go with Unlucky Lottery or at one point, and then I ended up thinking of the rainbow thing as like
visually. I'm sure you didn't get this far, but I'm gonna go this far. Visually, what are you picking here?
I am not.
Well, fuck you, because I am.
At the very least, what I'm picturing is Hornswoggle wins.
I'm imagining now you've got Eric the Leprechaun, or Braun the Leprechaun. Who is this man?
He was apparently a part of Dungeon of Doom.
I'm sure he was.
I got a lot out of Dungeon of Doom that I was not aware of on this card.
And like a push cart that has the black pot, right? And the way that, because you know the ramps are all LEDs, it's just a rainbow, and the yellow line, like the stretcher match, is just the end of the rainbow.
It's probably what it would be. But I don't even know where these events are taking place.
I did fucking envisioning it because I'm sick.
They're taking place in Madison Square Garden, maybe. I don't know. Then we have a tag team match. This one is called the Tangled in Madness match. You know, not everything about Halloween is entirely just inherently scary. There's a lot about Halloween that is about dressing up as things that you are like, oh, I really like this movie or something like that. So you got to give something to the kids. So this is the team of Chaos Project, Luther and Serpentico. Against Arachnaman and Max Moon, the Cosmic Web Warriors. I
just want to be clear that the minute he said the word tangled, that I said, oh, he's got Arachnaman.
Yep, got to throw Arachnaman on this card. And you got to team him with Max Moon. I mean, come on.
Do you?
Oh, you have to. Look at it. Who else would team with Arachnaman? Who else would team with Max Moon?
Lady Frost might.
Lady Frost, not on this card, I believe. She kind of is, and she kind of isn't. But I wanted to put Chaos Project in there together as well. And I thought about putting them in one of the other multi-band matches, but I ended up, when I came across the whole, I was like, oh, Arachnaman, that's right. And Max Moon, I'm like, all right, teaming them up, Cosmic Web Warriors. There you go, Cosmic Web Warriors. And that's a means to have Chaos Project lose. So Arachnaman and Max Moon, they get the win.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, they absolutely win.
You've got to be kidding.
And then they pose and shoot webs around.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Dude, okay.
And Max Moon shoots whatever he shoots. I don't fucking know what Max Moon does. Now, what's another aspect of Halloween that is not on the spooky side of it? The sexy side of that.
Oh, okay.
Which turned into, never mind, I'm going to do that on something else. So, originally, this started out as the Goth Girl Gauntlet. And it turned into, wait a minute, I want to do that in a different way elsewhere. But I still like the name, the Goth Girl Gauntlet. So this became pick 30 of any of these people that I'm about to name. They're not even in alphabetical order. Roxy Laveau. Remember her?
Yeah.
Heather Reckless. Haley Shadows.
Never heard of her.
She had one SmackDown match and she was on OVW. Holly Lane or Holly Cromwell. She went by two different names, tagged with Elena Black, who you will hear later on. Cora Jade.
Haley Cromwell?
Holly Lane is what she was listed as for something.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Mel from TNA.
You mean AEW?
From AEW. I'm looking at the other TNA thing. Kimberly. Leva Bates. Yeah. Woman.
A woman.
Vicky Haskins.
Yeah, Mark Haskins. I don't want to say wife because it might be his sister. I think it was his wife.
Black Lotus.
Who is that?
I could tell you. I'm forgetting who it was off the top of my head. I want to say it's like Angela something. She's a Lucha Underground girl.
Is it Chelsea?
Angela. Was it Angela or was it maybe it's Angela Fong.
Angela Fong.
Okay, yeah. There's people from WoW in this. There's the Heavy Metal Sisters, I believe is their name. I was going to name out these WoW people. Spike or Hudson Envy, Razor or Sarah the Rebel. They go by multiple names. Harlow O'Hara, aka Fury. Mesmeria, Salen Silva. There's
some of these names are good.
Yeah, there's Siren the Voodoo Doll, Katarina Jenks, Ice Cold, Genesis, Chainsaw, Angelica Dante. Some names that are a little bit more familiar. And these are the ones when you start getting into like who do you constitute as fitting in here and who do you constitute as not quite fitting. So that's why I'm like pick 30 of these names. So you got Sawyer Wreck, Christina Von Eerie, aka Toxin, Valhalla, Sarah Logan, Crazy Mary Dobson, works, Ruby Riott. I've seen people put online Toni Storm as a name of a goth girl. She doesn't register as a goth girl to me, but I'm like, if some people constitute her that, maybe she does.
And I wouldn't, but that's okay.
I wouldn't either. But I was just like, if that's the case, then when she's one of the 30 that you don't pick, that kind of a thing. Same for, oddly enough, and I did not understand this either, Harley Cameron was popping up on a lot of these names. And I'm like, she's not goth, but crazy. Like, okay, sure, I'll throw her in there if that's the case, because at least that's, like eye candy. Danny Luna, Jody Threat.
I like them. Yeah.
Lufisto
was great.
Solo Darling.
I've heard. I don't know if I've watched.
I saw Jade, Mia Yim's name listed on these, and I don't know if she ever got into like a gothy thing in TNA.
She did the cyberpunkish, but I wouldn't classify that as goth.
Yeah,
but
it's like, and it
we're
translates
hairs here.
Yeah, it's like it's the goth girl gauntlet. Doesn't necessarily need to be goth. It's like, oh, I'm punkish, I'm whatever. Anything that kind of works in that range. That goes for Ember Moon as well, and
that I would say fits.
Taylor Hendricks.
That also fits.
So pick 30 of those names, or here's a little asterisk, potentially Su Yung and her tag team partner of was it Maho Corone? Is how you pronounce it? Coroni? I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Why are you saying that name like I know that name?
But Su Yung and whoever that Japanese talent is are part of
Abadon? Why aren't they on this list?
She's in another match. That's a team called Dead or Alive. Maybe you throw them in here, maybe you don't. It depends on something that's on card 3. So you might throw those names in there too. So pick 30 out of those names, and it's a Royal Rumble essentially of just one person. Well, depending on who you pick, there could be all sorts of different options.
Well,
here.
I mean, you must have at least picked a winner.
I figured if for some reason Toni Storm worked, Toni Storm would have to win this. If that's, I would not pick her for this because I don't think that she necessarily fits the bill. I would probably lean more towards either Ruby Riott winning or giving this to cosplaying Leva Bates. Just because that would be kind of fun.
You really like Leva Bates?
I don't really. It's just I like playing around with the idea that she cosplays, so you can do a lot with her character on there. But it's not going to be a great match.
I was going to ask you something. Where's Paige?
Yeah, she's got her own match. Yeah. If you notice anybody though that I'm missing on here, there are probably people that I do not have on this that I would be like, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot so and so. And if that ends up happening, I might end up having to go, okay, well, in retrospect, then maybe change that around. But that's what, like, she originally started out as part of this whole Goth Girl Gauntlet thing when it was just going to be all the hot chicks. So it was going to be like just the Taylor Hendrickses and the Angelica Dantes and all that. And then when I started to come across more of these people like tag teams that are like, the Heavy Metal Sisters and like Chainsaw and all this, I'm like, all right, well, you know what? I need to do a different thing. So we're going to come back to that idea.
Chainsaw is red.
So that's night 1 or card 1 or circle 1 of hell. Terrible talent.
That was awful. I would watch this card.
It's going to get better / worse.
It's got to get better. There's no way.
The second night or circle or whatever is called Creepy Combat. Because we're gimmicky and we're stupid. So Creepy Combat.
We're gimmicky, we're stupid, and all together lucid.
Let's go with the Titanic Trainwreck match, otherwise known as Giant Mess. It's Viscera against Zeus, aka Z Gangsta.
Is the mess because Viscera is the world's largest love machine?
It's just a mess of a match. It's a giant mess of a match because there's no way Zeus against Viscera would be good.
You make it a body slam match.
That's something we'll address another.
Are you fucking for real? Okay.
But it's funny that you mentioned it here because this actually was one of the 3 matches that I was debating about making a body slam challenge. So you're on the same wavelength. But the Titanic train wreck giant mess of a match, Viscera against Z Gangsta. Viscera the babyface there, Z Gangsta the heel. And
only in this world would Tony not call them either Mabel or Zeus, which I think is funny.
Because Z Gangsta was the one that he used for Dungeon of Doom, and Viscera for the
Ministry. I get it.
So yeah, but I have it on the screen there, Z Gangsta / Zeus, and it's a picture of Zeus because I couldn't find a picture of Z Gangsta.
Fun fact: I did an article on Fightful.com about why Undertaker was asked why wasn't Kane ever in the Ministry, and he was like, "Well,
he's like, I don't fucking know."
the talks were never there, and we were just on opposite ends at the time. He said he added Mabel to it just so he wouldn't have to fight him.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's fucking hysterical. Like,
it makes
I'm
sense.
not fighting him again. No.
Like, please put him in my stable so that other people can wrestle him instead of me. Yeah. So, neither of them have a great reputation about having a really great match. This match actually wouldn't necessarily be all that bad. This is one of our other women's matches. This is the Lethal Luchadoras Trios match. You've got from Lucha Underground, Katrina, Mariposa, and Sexy Star up against the, I guess, somewhat AEW type name team. I never gave them a name. Ivelisse, Diamante, and Kiera Hogan. Kiera Hogan, a.k.a. Fire. Diamante, a.k.a. Adrenaline. From
I
WoW.
Call them they're not LAX. But LAX is coming to mind.
I was trying to think of something with the Fire and Adrenaline names from WoW, but I couldn't think of anything.
Ivelisse, Diamante, and Kiera Hogan. It's not Fire and Flava. It's something though. There's a thing. There's
something there.
Yeah.
And Ivelisse is like the leader of the team, the way that Katrina is the leader of that team. And
I would just like to say, like, Maxine, Katrina was always one of my favorites. I forget who was under the Mariposa mask. And
that's
Sexy Star.
Cheerleader Melissa.
Oh, that rules. And Sexy Star was en route to being a major star, and then I feel like
Major Sexy Star?
Major Sexy Star. And then I feel like something happened there. I can't remember what, but that's an interesting team. But there's no way they're beating the team on the other side that has actually decent wrestlers.
The Ivelisse, Diamante, and Kiera Hogan one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the team that wins. Those are the baby faces in the match, from my perspective. I had to work a lot on like who would be babyface and heel, and predominantly heel for almost everybody that's in these 3 or 9 cards, because there's very few characters that are like Halloween-ish. And then on top of that, very few that are babyface material. So that's why I'm stretching the line a little bit with people. Like, obviously, like, Ivelisse is not a, Halloween type character. But yeah, if you're going to put them in a match with these other ones and stuff, like, you can dress it up a little bit, You can play around with that. Let's go to another singles match here. I called this the Dreadful Downfall match. And this one was another one that I was thinking of doing a body slam challenge. And instead I figured maybe it's not necessarily a body slam challenge. Maybe it's some kind of like, you just got to knock the other person down and do something. I don't really know. But the point is, it is Ultimate Warrior against Yaz.
Oh.
Kevin Nash getting on this card as Oz and Ultimate Warrior. This, of course, would not be a great match whatsoever. That's why it's on card number 2.
Okay. My fun facts here are, Vince wanted Nash to put over Warrior along with Michaels and Taker before he left. And Warrior was the one that Nash was like, no.
Yeah. He's going to have to here because Ultimate Warrior beats Oz.
When you said that, I really thought, oh, Yeti versus some fucking giant guy.
Oh, I got something else in mind for the Yeti. The Yeti.
Who, by the way, was just a mummy. Like,
yeah, I don't know how they... Like, who fucking... Yeah. They're like, well, we need a Yeti thing. Well, I mean, clearly Yetis are mummies. Yeah, and Draculas are fucking... vampires are fucking Frankenstein monsters. Same thing. Yeah, so Ultimate Warrior versus Oz. Colorful match. That's for sure. Ultimate Warrior from parts unknown. Oz from the depth of hell of booking tragedies. And
the land of Oz. He is Oz.
Yeah, true.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain call.
Hey!
Look at that. Maybe that should have been the name of this instead of Dreadful Downfall.
That tickled me way more than it should have.
Now here's a match that actually could be pretty solid. This is a triple threat tag team match.
Okay.
It is the Ascension, Connor and Victor, against the Powers of Pain, Barbarian and Warlord, against the War Raiders, Eric Rowe and Ivar Hansen. I'm going to make them full fucking names. So the Vikings that are the current closest thing we have to the Legion of Doom, and then two Legion of Doom ripoff teams. And it's the Ragnarok Roughhouse match.
Okay, I have a question. Are the Legion of Doom on this card?
Legion of Doom is on this card.
Is Demolition on the card?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know. War Raiders. My fun tidbit here is
they're going to go back to War Raiders.
They're going back to War Raiders.
By the time that this is out there for the public thing, they'll probably already be the War Raiders again.
That's awesome. I miss the Ascension. I like the yeah. And look, you know for a fact, I'm gonna say I would have booked this. I like this shit. Like,
yeah, like this would actually be kind of like I'd like this. I would watch this match.
I like the Powers of Pain. Like, is it ever good stuff? No.
But it's Barbarian and Warlord, so why wouldn't you put them together? Like yeah.
It's fun wrestling.
They even bothered to go ahead and do the thing that Legion of Doom does, where it's like, can we put our two haircuts together and make one haircut?
Yeah, because unlike Demolition, who I assume are on this card somewhere opposite someone,
you might be wrong.
The LOD, the Powers of Pain are like direct rip-offs of LOD. That's all they are.
So this is like 3 LOD-ish teams. Basically, it's no DQ match, but hey, not all these need like wild gimmicks to them. But I'd actually watch this match. And I would go with the Powers of Pain are heels. The Ascension are kind of tweeners. And War Raiders baby faces. And I'm probably going to go War Raiders winning.
Yeah. I think what we know now, War Raiders are probably the most decorated team.
The Viking War Machine Raiders win this.
Experience.
They may think that we're clowning around a little bit here, but that's what we're officially going to do in this next one.
Oh no.
Where each person of this multi-man match enters in the match in a clown car. The same clown car. Hold on.
How many?
We've got Crazy Steve versus Danhausen versus multiple Doink the Clowns, including Dink. The Insane Clown Posse, Kazarni, and Fantasio or Spellbinder, whatever one you call them.
So there's also the Brothers of Funstruction from the NWA that are just 2 clowns.
I did not come across them, but yes, throw them in there as well.
There's so many. I have thoughts here because clown gimmicks should be awesome, right? Like
you would think so, and like Doink was great. Kazarni could have been cool.
Because legit story. Because my 14-year-old ass was obsessed with wrestling. I'd been around talking like that for like a week.
You did the whole Carney thing.
I don't know how I had a girlfriend at the time. She found it incredibly annoying. I don't know how that didn't die right then and there. I talked like that for a week.
That shiz it.
I thought that was fantastic. I love Doink. I even think the Insane Clown Posse, for the psycho bullshit they're able to conjure up yearly for their gathering of the Juggalos, They should be commended.
Not commended enough here because one of the Doinks wins this. Which one? Exactly. It's probably Matt Bourne. But I would picture this match. Everybody enters in the same clown car to the point that you're wondering, how the fuck are all these people coming into the same car? But that's the point of the clown car. And it gets to a point where there are so many Doinks that you don't know which one's the real Doink. And Doink wins somehow. Maybe it's one pinfall. Maybe it's Battle Royal. I don't really know. This would be, Fantasio is pulling shit out. Doink is shocking people, like clown around, do their crazy shit.
Kazarni, instead of swallowing a sword, regurgitates one and then uses it in the match.
Maybe, what's his face? Superhuman comes out and tries to help ICP.
That would be for the Chocolotes and Chocolates.
And we're going to end the main event of night 2 with the Hellfire Hoax match that is being fought in the Doppelganger's domain. I don't have a graphic for it because I couldn't find great graphics, but it's a triple threat.
So we've got fake Kane, fake Taker, and
NWO Sting.
Okay.
So Undertaker, Imposter Kane, NWO Sting are all going at it.
That's an interesting one because who do you put over? My guess is that you probably put over fake Taker.
You would think that, but I actually didn't.
Did you go with Kane?
Imposter Kane.
That's a good one. You know why? No matter
Gallows.
what you say here, yes, Luke Gallows. No matter what happens here, and no matter the fact that 24 hours later, he just is erased from history, fake Kane beat Kane. Like, he won the match.
And he doesn't get credit for it, so he's going to win this.
Fantastic.
I thought I would very easily find pictures of these 3 guys, and I couldn't find anything.
Well, fake Kane never had a render.
No, they never had renders for these guys, but even the pictures that I could find on the internet of just say the fake Undertaker standing opposite of real Undertaker, you only see real Undertaker's face in any of these pictures. So it's
the point.
It's a matter of, well, do I show the back of fake Undertaker's head as the picture here? Do I show Imposter Kane's half of his head is missing from the shot? No graphic on that one, but Doppelganger's domain is the main event of night 2.
So let's talk about this for a minute, because we just watched Bad Blood.
Yeah.
And we watched Chains. And that motherfucker didn't look like Taker at all.
Not in the slightest bit. But he looked the most like Taker than anybody. So
it's did they give him lifts? Because I've seen Brian Lee in other situations where Brian Lee looks like Taker. But for some reason, in that instance, he did not.
Here he will. And I don't know who would be heel and babyface. I would assume all would be booed. So
they're all heels.
I thought of potentially even adding in fake fake Razor and fake Diesel and making them special enforcers. But I was well, I don't know how I could get them justified as while you dress up for things for Halloween, maybe
And Glenn Jacobs is busy anyway.
Yeah, he's got something else to do. But there are people that are booked multiple times on this card too. So
wow.
What do you mean why?
Why?
Because I gotta get multiple gimmicks in here. Now we're gonna move on to night 3 or circle 3, eerie encounters.
Ooh. Did you get hold on? Are we gonna go through 9 circles of hell?
Yes, we are.
How many matches are on this card?
54.
Okay, I did the math.
Yep.
All right.
Let's go with the Voodoo doll on a pole match. The Boogeyman against Papa Shango.
I love that voodoo that you do.
And it's in that kind of sense of there's a voodoo doll of each one of them on the opposite side. So if you get your opponent's voodoo doll, then you can do whatever you want to that to hurt them. So Boogeyman wins this.
I mean this with general sincerity. Other than the Viking Raiders match, this is the one that I would absolutely get a bowl of popcorn, sit down and watch.
You mean tell me you wouldn't watch the 30 girl goth girl gauntlet?
I mean, I'd watch that absolutely, but in
or
a
the
different
dumpster
context.
fire where Cody Rhodes sends himself into.
I would watch Cody Rhodes, and I like Cody Rhodes, but out of sheer joy, I'd watch him cartwheel into a dumpster fire.
So yeah, the Voodoo Doll on a pole match, the only on a pole match on this card.
Of course,
but it justifies
would be involved.
Let's go to our first of our multi-person matches on this show. This one is a boiler room brawl between the Dungeon of Doom, because boiler room dungeon. The group is the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan, Hugh Morris, and Zodiac, and they're up against the three oddities of Golga, Kurgan, and Giant Silva. Everybody comes to the freak show.
Kevin Sullivan just died. You couldn't think of anything more respectable. You put him in a dungeon boiler room with the oddities?
And Hugh Morris and Zodiac.
You fucking put him up against Foley. They could stab each other.
When you see what Foley does, you'll like that better.
Maybe, but I mean, like, my goodness, put Kamala in this.
Yeah, you'll understand where Kamala is.
Oh, Kamala's probably in the Monster Bash. I don't care about come on. Kevin Sullivan deserves better.
He's the leader of the Dungeon of Doom. He's the one that's dictating them to go into the boiler room.
Yeah, that's exactly why he deserves better.
Yeah. And the Dungeon of Doom is victorious here. They beat Golga.
Of Golga.
That was actually like surprisingly easy to find. Look how crisp that one is.
Yeah.
Compared to like the Hugh Morris one. And that was like the best Hugh Morris one I could find too.
It's very shocking. Especially trying to go into the Zodiac.
That was actually not hard either. Yeah. Very weird how some of these played out. Let's go into our dental destruction match.
Oh God.
Isaac Yankum DDS against George the Animal Steel. He's got dental problems from biting the turnbuckles.
They're soft and chewy.
You do that enough times though.
That's true. You're eventually gonna hit the metal.
And you just gonna wear your teeth out and stuff. So he goes to a dentist and it happens to be the worst dentist. And there you go. Now you got a feud.
You know, there's a version of wrestling that is made for you to book.
Hopefully not this, though.
I think it might be this.
But you know how Isaac Yankum wins this match?
Shot of Novocaine?
Shot of Novocaine and the gas mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, he puts down the animal.
Yeah. That's terrible. Do something about that green tongue while you're at it, Mr. Ingham.
Yeah. What's Lawler say? The little baked beans. Baked bean teeth. We've got our War of the Wasteland. Boneyard / graveyard type match. That's what it would be. Abadon against Max the Impaler.
A surprising turn of events, which I'm sure Tony had zero foresight here, but this is some great representation here. Two non-binary competitors competing in a match of their very own. I like this.
Living Dead Girl against
non-binary nightmare.
Like there you go. Like it's when I looked at the list of the people that I had eventually, I was like, oh, this makes sense to book these two against each other.
It's weird because I would prefer Abadon winning, but I think statistically, I would have to give it to Max.
I have Max the Impaler winning. Where they would then go, well, is the Living Dead Girl still living? That's a big question after the match. Now, here's where we get into another thing. Our Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team match. It's 4 tag teams. And this is where I said before, maybe you put Su Yung and Maho Karone in this as Dead or Alive. Maybe you don't. Now, that's if you constitute Kairi Sane and Io Sky. Because I saw their names on these things and I was like, I do not think that makes sense. But if you count them, take Dead or Alive out of this, throw them in that 30-woman battle royal thing and put them in here because that would make it a way better match. But it's the Coven, Taylor Wilde and Kylan King. Twisted Sisters, Holidead and Thunder Rosa. The Hex, Marty Bell and Sienna, Allison Kay. And Dead or Alive.
We can't think of better people.
Better people are involved in other matches.
Okay. Problem with the 54 match card, Jody.
Yeah.
All right. Gun to my head, I'm probably going the Hex.
I'm going Coven winning.
Okay.
I'm booking them as Coven and Twisted Sisters are the two babyface teams. Hex and Dead or Alive are the two heel teams. Now, if you switch it, you could put Kyrie and Io in here, then give them one of the babyface spots and take the Coven out and make them heels.
Fair enough.
But overall, like, Kylan King's not bad. Taylor Wilde's not bad. Thunder Rosa, she's great. Like,
it's probably one of the better wrestling matches on the show, yes.
Yeah. And they do still get better in some ways as we go along. But the main event of night 3, Circle 3, is a bit of a mouthful. It is Big Van Vader against Braun Strowman in a mountain of a mastodon monster among men melee.
I would book the fuck out of this now.
This would be actually a lot of fun.
We are, for context, in the real time, we are 24 hours away from a last monster standing.
Yep. So I'm hoping that would be great. And as soon as they said that, it was like, oh, hell yeah, that's totally me.
Like, I love Vader is a fantastic wrestler, fantastic monster, the monster heel. Braun Strowman, I miss when he was the monster heel. I think his babyface turn was the worst thing ever. Great match here.
And since it's the whole mountain of a man and a monster among men, now it's a monster of all monsters. So it's mountain of a mastodon, monster among men melee.
They come back from the monster mash, right?
No, actually, there's too many people in the monster mash thing. This is just straight up, I would like to see Braun Strowman against Vader. Like, hell yeah. I would just like to see this match.
Yeah, me too. I would watch the shit of this.
So that is main event of Circle 3, which puts us to Circle 4, which is called Hair-Raising Horrors. And the first match of that, let's see, we're going to go, because I remember I'm not doing these in any kind of particular order. Let's go with the Cult Classic, aka Cult Following, aka Soul Survivor match. The Dark Order against Raven's Flock or Raven's Nest.
Yeah, I respect this.
This includes Mr. Brody Lee, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, the Creepers, which could be anybody that you want to throw in there to balance out the numbers, Alex Reynolds, John Silver, Alan Angels, Preston Vance, and Colt Cabana. They are obviously the baby faces here. Raven's Flock is made up of Stevie Richards, Saturn, Kidman, Van Hammer, Horace, Sick Boy, Riggs, Reese, Lodi, and Canyon.
I respect it.
This is going to come into play with another match later on as well.
I like this one a lot.
So I'm going with a Soul Survivor concept of like, this is Survivor Series and it needs to come down to like one person. And it's, you know, two teams against each other, but you pretty much know it's going to be like who's going to be the Soul Survivor. So if you can do Soul Survivor in the sense of it only has to be one person, I'm going with Stevie Richards winning. If more than one person can win, it's Stevie Richards, Saturn, and Kidman. But it's Raven's Flock winning. He's booked elsewhere. That's what I mean. It's going to come back later.
Well, okay. In that case, I would absolutely put my foot down. If Brody's in the match and Raven's not, Brody's winning.
Mr. Brody Lee in this match as the Exalted One is the leader of this group, but he is not the leader of the group in my overall card. And he is booked elsewhere. So it's... Yeah, we're going to come back around to it.
God. Okay, I don't even know what that means.
So we also have a Devil's Playground match. Scary Sherry Martel against Alexa Bliss.
All right, the only way this works is if Lily grows again. And like she did with Shayna Baszler. Do you remember that? That was amazing.
I hate that I remember that. Yeah.
That was amazing.
Now look, Bliss against Sherry Martel. Yeah, is it going to be the best match? No, of course. But they know their gimmicks. They would have fun, I think. And Bliss is the babyface for sure.
All right. I'm kind of down for this.
And I got Bliss winning. Because why wouldn't you, Then we've got, now this match was originally going to be one of my, this is like so stupid that I got to put it on the first card type matches. Like some of the other ones were. The big fascination with Mortal Kombat in WCW. I'm just calling this the Mortal Bombat match because we're throwing Atom Bomb in there.
Oh, why not Wrath?
Well, we have Mortis and Wrath, Ghouls and Ghosts is apparently the team name.
He can't fight himself.
Here's where we're going to get into that because I thought about this.
Oh, God,
it doesn't have to be him under the mask. So who else would you want to put under that mask that you could do this kind of a thing with?
Oh God, did you put Crush under a mask?
No, Brian Lee.
Oh God, no.
Because I get them mixed up all the time, and since he's playing fake Undertaker, he could be fake Wrath.
You sure did. Just the other day when we were watching Bad Blood.
So it's Brian Lee as Wrath, and Mortis Canyon. Their team name was apparently just called Ghouls and Ghosts. And they're up against Glacier and Atom Bomb, because Atom Bomb was a babyface for a short time frame.
He threw footballs.
And he is one of the most Mortal Kombat-y looking characters. Look at those glasses and all that. Now, they are the tag team of Nuclear Winter, and they both have an extra nickname to go along with it. Glacier is Cold Fusion, and Atom Bomb is Meltdown.
Which, by the way, for anyone keeping score, is the name of Wrath's finisher, because they are the same person.
Yup. It's Halloween.
I love you. I love you. I really do.
So it's the Mortal Bombat match because you got the Atom Bomb in there.
Oh God, you're the best.
Obviously the babyfaces Atom Bomb and Glacier win this one. It would be a cold day in hell if they lost.
It sure would.
But if you're a little bit on the cold side of things, we'll warm you back up in the main event of this. But we still have
it's an Inferno match.
We have two more matches to get into for the Hair Raising Horrors match. One of them being another match that was going to be on the first match card. And this is the Murderers Row match. This is Bruiser Brody.
Oh my God.
Bruiser Brody against Heidenreich, Jimmy Havoc, Judas Messias, Lars Sullivan, Relic, Sammy Callahan, and Snitsky with the special enforcer of the Executioner.
I would like to just go on record at this elimination match.
Sure.
I would say that Jimmy Havoc and Lars Sullivan cancel each other out.
Neither of them are winning.
Murderers Row.
Let's see if you can guess who I'm picking to win this.
Murderers Row. I'll be bold. Look, Snitsky punted a baby, so I think that gives him a strong win in Murderers Row. However, I think Bruiser Brody needs some redemption.
So this would come down to three people. Snitsky, Bruiser Brody, and Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan and Bruiser Brody would end up accidentally taking each other out in some fashion, and Snitsky would say, "It's not my fault."
Okay, nice.
Snitsky wins.
Wow, look at that. We're somehow still on the same wavelength.
Yep. So you got your Relic in there. You got your Heidenreich.
You know, Relic was killer spelled backwards. Guys, just every time. Like,
and Heidenreich backwards is go ahead, try to pronounce that. Let's switch over to another women's match. This one could be fun. Instead of an I Quit match, they have an I Shriek match. Shotzi Blackheart against Luna Vachon.
Another match I would genuinely watch.
Yeah, they shriek all the time, so it's not a matter of you shriek once and you lose, but you have to shriek, I quit.
Shotzi should lose here, but she also shouldn't lose here. That's hard. Huh. I'm going to go Shotzi wins.
Shotzi is who I have winning. And then she would be able to do that wolf call at the end of it in like celebration.
Love that.
And when I was like not even figuring out a lot of like these other, you know, like the people from WoW and all that, I still had Shotzi against Luna Vachon as like one of my main women's matches. Because I was just like, you know, it actually kind of like that could be fun. And we know that they could both have some solid matches. So now, if you do need to be warmed up a little bit, we're gonna have a Ring of Fire. It's an Inferno Ring of Fire match.
Burning Ring of Fire.
Kane against Bam Bam Bigelow.
You know, I can't even be mad at it. Another match that I absolutely would watch.
Kane is babyface here, and he's upset at Bam Bam Bigelow having the flames because it reminds him of him getting burned.
I was so excited for the match, and then you said that. Like,
it's mostly to get the two in the ring. Kane versus Bam Bam Bigelow, man.
Would have been a great match. I wish Bam Bam would have done more. You know?
I wish he would have beaten Hogan to win the title.
I don't know if he was like, because he had some different tenures. So like his first tenure, he was supposed to be a big babyface, and then he kind of came back as a heel, and I think he should have been a bigger deal than he was.
He should have been. That's one of my major, like, if I could go back and give some title reigns to a couple other people, Bam Bam would be somebody that I'd at least give the Intercontinental title to. And in ring type stuff, like, he's great. Kane, fucking great. Kane would be able to body slam him. Bam Bam's gonna flip around. Like, this would be legitimately one of my favorite matches out of these 54 matches.
A top rope headbutt
with flames behind him.
Flames shoot up. Are you fucking kidding? Yep. Like,
legitimately, like, this is when I was like moving matches around going, all right, I'm going to put at least one thing that I really like on all of the cards except for the first one. Because I had this as like a secondary, like, this is like a night 2 damn near IC title level type of feud. Like, this is one of my more favorite matches.
I give you credit for not doing like a, well, it's Halloween Havoc, so I'm going to put Taker and Kane in a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
I give you credit for doing this.
I try to always go with matches that I haven't either seen before or it's like a new twist on something. So Kane wins this one. Bam Bam's got the extra ring gear. Like, he can get set on fire, you know.
I like it.
Let's switch over to the circle number 5. Spine chilling action.
Circle 5.
Can you picture Vince McMahon being like, oh, ready for some spine chilling action tonight?
I thought you were going to ask me if I could pick
Stanley.
Vince in the fifth circle of hell. I was going to say, well.
He's further down than that. Vince McMahon not on this card. I should have put him on there. Didn't think about it. But what I did think of, though, is a battle of the behemoths. Andre the Giant against Big Show Giant.
The way that you said Big Show Giant.
Big Show Giant.
Like Mario, and Luigi Mario.
Yeah. Well, he's Andre the Giant, and he's his son. So his name is Big Show Giant.
Yeah, like that.
Just like it's Ivar Hansen. And that's not going to be the only person that I make this joke about later
on. Yeah, this is one of those matches where you have to put them together.
You pretty much have to. And I thought about putting them in this like monster mash type thing and decided, you know what? They're worthy enough of just being a match on their own.
You should have put them in monster trucks first.
Oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Maybe that's the lead up to this. And then one of them can fall off and it could be like, no. But I'm going babyface Andre the Giant wins this. Because really, between the two of them, I think I want him to be the gentle giant. Maybe he offers people's peanut. I don't know.
Anybody want a peanut?
Let's go into the. Let's go to this one. All right. This is a 6-man tag team match. And it is the Eaters of Worlds, the Fiend version of Bray Wyatt, *. Just the Fiend. Because Bray Wyatt's going to pop up later. Eli Cottonwood and Waylon Mercy. I am throwing them in there as honorary members of a Wyatt family-esque thing. And then we're going to have the Funhouse version of them, the babyface versions. Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper.
That's really funny. Why do you like Cottonwood?
He was a part of the Wyatt family.
Like originally?
Yeah. He was his first teammate. And then they were like, this dude sucks. Let's go put him with Rowan and Harper.
That makes a bunch of sense, actually. He does look like a giant swamp people kind of person.
You do look like a giant swamp people kind of person. And by the way, your mustache is the best one, the one that you don't have.
Yeah, he was referenced the other day.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody, was it Wade Barrett who said like, oh, I haven't, I think it was Dom, and Wade Barrett said like, I haven't seen a mustache this great since you like Hotwood.
Good. Yeah, I don't think many people would have thought heading into this that a Halloween Havoc card would include Eli Cottonwood, but it does. Look at that.
Raven's fighting Bray Wyatt, right?
No. Because Bray Wyatt's the heel. Remember, he's the heel in this side of this. The Eaters of Worlds thing. But he's only going to wrestle this match as The Fiend.
I'm so interested in where the real Bray Wyatt is.
And of course, since, you still got to keep up that kind of thing, The Fiend is able to get the win for his team, despite the fact that Bo Dallas, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper are the much better team overall.
I struggle with this. If I was going to do this, I probably would have done Wyatt, Harper, and Rowan against Howdy, Gacy, and Loomis.
See, I played with the idea of Bray Wyatt, Fiend, Eli Cottonwood, Waylon Mercy, Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, Joe Gacy, Dexter Loomis, all of them, all in one match against other people. And I almost went in that direction for a match that I'm going to talk about later on, but I ended up deciding to switch it up just because of the numbers thing. So instead I was like, 6-man tag, SICKS. That's where we get that little pun in there. And since if you're going to go with different nicknames of them, Eaters of Worlds, yeah, it sounds more violent. And then the Funhouse, and they're the baby faces.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
We've got a tag team match of the... I don't know exactly what I'm 100% going to call this one, because there's so many different things that I had done. But what is essentially the Acolytes Protection Agency, APA, Farouk and Bradshaw, against Nails and Nathan Jones, the two convicts.
Not so blocks.
And I'm going to call them a couple different nicknames. So the Nails and Nathan Jones team, I went with Cell Block C was the name. But I was also thinking of Prison Break, Hard Time, The Convicts, Warden's Worst Nightmare, Death Row, the Jailhouse Juggernauts, Solitary Confinement. And then I ran through ChatGPT and said, give me some other nicknames. And they gave me two names that I liked quite a bit too. Prison Yard Power and the Bars of Brutality. And I was like, fuck, I like all these. But then I already had made the graphic of Cell Block C. So I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to redo it. So, and pick your favorite team name of that. They're up against the APA. And this is the infirmary, the prison infirmary beatdown match. It's essentially an ambulance or stretcher match. You got to beat the other people up and you got to send them to the infirmary. So you need a special warden or enforcer. And that's the boss man, Big Boss Man. Otherwise known as Big Bubba. Because I wanted to get Big Bubba in there from Dungeon of Doom. So he's Big Bubba, the Boss Man.
I like it.
Big Bubba Boss Man for the beatdown. And of course, APA is going to beat Nails and Nathan Jones.
I like putting them together as criminals. You know?
Yeah, they're two escaped convict type characters.
One is a real one.
Yeah. And one of them has a far more successful career just acting.
Yeah.
Trying to guess who's who. So that's a location-based thing, but so is this one. This is the Witch's Brew match. The Death Dolls, Rosemary, Jessica Havoc, and Taya Valkyrie, against the Unholy Union of Albafire, Abadon, and Blair Davenport. And how do you win the Witch's Brew match? You have to push your opponents into a cauldron.
God damn it. I really did say that earlier.
Yep. It's basically the Mimosa Mayhem type thing.
Double boil in trouble.
Boil in trouble or something. Yeah. Obviously, Unholy Union are the baby faces here.
I would put the Death Dolls over. I actually disagree. I think the Death Dolls will be the baby faces. Having watched them, I think they were more likely to be the baby faces.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck them. They're not on mine.
Okay.
I think people will go with the three witchy chicks. I don't know. Maybe it's I get the all along that I'm watching lately, but I'm gonna go with the Unholy Union winning that. They're more witchy, so they throw in some Eye of Newt and stuff. I don't know. But you needed to get a cauldron match at some point. Another women's match that's on here. This is the Split Personality Skirmish. And that is not a multi-woman match, but it's a multi-personality match. Because it is Nikki Cross, who can go at any point during the match into her Sister Abigail or Nikki ASH characters, very McFoley-ish, against Wendy Chu, who could be the good version of Wendy Chu, the nightmare version, or Mei Ying.
So it's like a six woman, but it's
really two against each other.
It's just a one-on-one, yeah.
A one-on-one where they can change their personality at any point during the match.
I like that, actually. That's something I can realistically see happening.
And they both have one very super cheerful babyface character, one monstrous character, and one crazy girl character. This is one of the most balanced matches.
Who would have thought, huh?
And honestly, I don't think it would necessarily be all that bad. Depends on how much time you give them. I don't know. I'm going to go Nikki Cross, babyface, Wendy Chu, heel, overall, even though they switched midway through the match a bunch of times.
What are some spots that you can think of?
Oh, you know Wendy Chu at some point is going to fall asleep. And you know that at some point you got to do something with Sister Abigail, like twisting around, and Nikki Cross doing the whole, like, where she would run through the ropes and do all that kind of thing. But I'd probably throw in, like, it's got to be no DQ in some fashion. So maybe they get some kind of, like, the loaded pillow type stuff. I don't know.
Who wins?
I'll go Nikki Cross.
I think Mei
Ying could. Any of these 6 women could.
Because realistically, we don't know how powerful Mei Ying would have been.
That is very true. They did make her seem like she was going to be... No, actually, we do, because she wrestled 2 matches and she lost them, right?
No, she didn't.
Didn't she?
She never debuted.
Didn't she lose 2 matches and that was it?
If that happened, I don't recall it at all.
We're going to look this up real quick. So, matches for her, Mei Ying. Let's see if we can find this on Cage Match, which, why is this not popping up quite yet? Yeah, Indy Hartwell beat her on NXT 2.0.
What?
And she had beaten Virginia Ferry the week prior. So she won 1 match, her debut match, and then lost the next match, and then that was it.
I don't remember her debuting at all. What? I have to go back and watch this.
Indy Hartwell defeats Mei Ying on October 5th, 2021. It's like a 2-minute match. Yeah.
What happened there?
It looks like this has something to do more so with Persia. maybe getting involved.
Weird.
So yeah, Mae Young not as powerful as we were thinking. And since I want to try to get some good main events in there for different matches, we have an Ambrose Asylum barbed wire death match between Jon Moxley and Brian Pillman.
Yeah, it's a match I'd watch.
Yep. Get those two in there, just say beat the shit out of each other, and they go, got it, boss. I'm leaning more towards Jon Moxley being the babyface. And
I think Moxley has to win, too.
I have him down as the winner, yeah. Again, another match that I would just like to see. Jon Moxley against Brian Pillman? Fuck yeah. Why not? That is the end of the 5th night. That goes into the 6th one. Circle 6 is Sinister Showdown. And we're going to start off with a... yeah, we're going to start off with this one. This is the tag team of the Authors of Pain against the tag team of Earthquake and Typhoon with the Hurricane at ringside for them in the Cataclysmic Collisions Tables match.
You know, you're trying to be cute, but what you really mean is they're big and they're going to go through tables and you're going to laugh.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like it.
I think it would actually be kind of decent.
I think so too. Authors of Pain are really good. Or they were, at least.
And they're big, strong dudes. Like, they could be picking up Earthquake and Typhoon and all.
Yeah, they're almost Babatunde big.
Not quite, but very few people are. So, I'm going to go Authors of Pain win this.
Almost every podcast. How do we do that? Like,
it's the woman, like that kind of thing. It's just it's recurring. But Hurricane goes through a table as well, because that would be fun. And we've got a final cut coffin match. Gold Dust against Darby Allin.
A match that could actually happen in real life.
Mm-hmm. But we're thinking Prime Gold Dust against Prime Darby Allin. All
right, so when you think of Prime Goldust, what do you think of?
I think of the mentality of what he has now with the in-ring work, the body of kind of a mix of what he has now, oddly enough. It's kind of funny. Like, he's had much worse eras, but character-wise, he needs to be intimidating. So he needs to be like 96. And since it's like... He makes movies based off of things. Darby Allin makes movie things. Little short films involved in this.
All right, give me one movie quote that you think Goldust would use in a promo against Darby Allin.
Now, if you figure that he has, like, we're taking this out of the bubble and we're going battle world mode where it's like it's 2024 and they have all the information and stuff, he's definitely quoting things from, like Heath Ledger's Joker. He's quoting things from No Country for Old Men. He's quoting things from, was that a movie with Ryan Gosling? Drive. Like, he's going all over the place.
Quoting Taxi Driver.
Probably that too, yeah. Darby Allin's making his own little final cut. I'm going to do a little short film back at Gold Dust. Hollywood era type Gold Dust, but he, can get the job done. He's not like that complete joke of a character that he became.
I like it.
A match I'd actually like to see. Prime Gold Dust feuding with Prime Darby Allin. Hell yeah. And I thought about it, and I wasn't sure how I would do it, but I was going to incorporate Seven in here in some fashion, and I just couldn't figure out exactly how. So maybe the movie that Darby Allin makes, he's making fun of the Seven gimmick or something. So I'm going Goldust winning this match.
Not who I would go with, but I understand.
Then we have a War Games match. And this is the Legion of Demolition. Road Warriors, Animal, and Hawk. And then you've got Demolition's Axe, Smash, and Crush. And they are up against the Wild Samoan Head Shrinkers, Afasika, Fatu, Samu, and Sione.
Well, hold on a minute. There's like 500 of them. Why is Barbarian working twice?
Because he was part of the Head Shrinkers. Sione.
I understand what you're saying, but there's 500 of them.
Now, you could throw in like a Jacob Fatu. You could throw in whatever you want to do. But they haven't been presented in quite the same kind of aspect as like the Wild Samoans and the Head Shrinkers, where it was like, oh, these savages, you know? So you could even call them the Samoan Savages, maybe even. I don't know.
I can't believe you put the Legion and Demolition together. Moreover, I can't believe I didn't think you would say the Legion of Demolition.
Now, you know the whole thing with the full names of Axe, Smash, and Crush, right?
Yeah.
Because it's Here Comes the Axe, Pain and Destruction are our middle names. So it's Axe, Pain and Destruction, Demolition is his name. And then there's Here Comes the Smasher. So his name is Smasher, but they call him Smash. So he's Smasher, and then in parentheses, Smash, Pain and Destruction, Demolition. And Crush's full name is Kona Crush. So he's Kona Crush, Pain and Destruction, Demolition. Can't fit that all on the card. But Demolition and Legion of Doom, the Legion of Demolition are the baby faces, and they win.
I like it. I can't believe they're on the same team, but I respect what you've done here.
Figure change the demolition ring gear and all that up a little bit and make it so they're all uniform.
Yeah, I'd like to see what that face paint looks like.
Yeah, and that's stuff that I'm not doctoring up. I don't know how to do that crap, but picture it in your heads, everybody. And it's a War Games match, so you know how it is. It's, you know, one team wins rather than just like one person wins. So Legion of Demolition wins that. And that is why I couldn't get some other people on there. I thought about doing something where Draws was involved in this. So if you want to throw Draws in there and then Jacob Fatu, Samoan Werewolf, you can get something away with that. I had thought about even putting Heidenreich in here and decided, nah.
And everybody was glad you didn't.
Yeah. Are you afraid of the dark?
Not necessarily.
What do you say when that person's telling you, watch me?
I say yes. Liv
Morgan against Paige / Saraya, whatever you want to call her.
I say yes. Okay. Not what I would have thought for Paige. But all right.
I had a couple other ideas for her, but I ended up going with this, and I thought about making it a blindfold match. And then I was like, well, nah. I go Liv Morgan babyface winning here.
I would say so.
Then we've got a first blood match, real high stakes here. Vampiro against Mordecai Kevin Thorn, who is being repackaged as basically a Blade type of babyface.
You're such a, like, what is wrong with you? Real high stakes here.
High stakes.
It's a fucking, I got you. I understand.
I thought about making this a first blood stake on a pole match, and that's why I had high stakes originally.
I like that. High stakes.
You got to go babyface Blade-ish, Mordecai, Kevin Thorn. I actually thought at one point that Kevin Thorn was going to like be a bigger deal. When they repackaged him a little bit, I didn't see the Mordecai thing. And I wasn't a fan of Kevin Thorn and Ariel. But when they repackaged him a little bit and he was just Kevin Thorn and he was just like a dude, there was a very short window there of like maybe a month or two where I was like, oh, this guy is kind of badass. And look at that era. Look at how many people succeeded from that era and how few actually made it past that kind of ECW. Like, we didn't get Monty Brown for different reasons, obviously. Elijah Burke didn't go as far as they were thinking that he was going to. All of those names, like, they just, But I like the idea of making him kind of a Blade-ish character.
I was a big fan of the Mordecai character. I always remember that one of his last things was actually calling out WWE champion Eddie Guerrero, and they just pulled the rug. I don't know what the fuck happened, but they just were like, no, just kidding.
Very weird era, right?
Very weird era.
And the main event of this night, this would be definitely a match that I would actually want to see. Monsters Ball match between Abyss and Mankind. And they both, at different points, can of course be like Mick Foley and Joseph Park.
I would argue, I know it's probably just because it's the render, but I get really like weird with Mankind, where I much prefer the brown Mankind.
So I thought about putting the brown version of this on here, and I thought about putting a couple different other versions. Same thing with Abyss, different characters. And the more I thought about it, I was like, I don't know who's the babyface here.
I don't know.
Because Mankind, you can go with early Mankind and make it just, he's horrible. Or you could go with the sympathetic but tortured Mankind.
I think, knowing what we know now, Mankind would probably be the babyface. And Abyss would be the heel, because he's Abyss. And he's the monster.
The monster Abyss against Mankind. Like, it's, you can go one way or another here, and I don't think that there's necessarily a wrong answer. But since Mankind is so easy to have beaten in this kind of a thing, I think I'm going Abyss winning.
I don't know. I would try to make I would try to put Mankind over. But I like Abyss, so I'd give Abyss the win too.
Between the two, I'm going to pick Mick Foley myself, but I can't just go with my favorites, you know? So I was like, maybe Abyss. Maybe he wins. Maybe he becomes like a new number one contender type or something. There's never a second Halloween Havoc that comes out of this, so, you know.
You mean we're not going to do another 54 matches?
I don't think so. Probably not next year. I don't know. Let's move over to the seventh layer of hell, the seventh circle. Panic and Peril is the name of this group. And
interesting.
Let's go with one of our multi-person matches. This could be a number of other people that I thought about putting in there, and I decided, you know what? I can't put them over some of the other ones. So I wanted to do, originally I was going to do a 6 stages of hell, and then it became a 6-on-6 match. And then I just decided to call it the Masquerade Mayhem match. Because this is Rey Mysterio, Penta, Pentagon, Penta Oscuro, whatever you want to call him, Manic, the TJP Manic thing, Psychosis, Shark Boy, and Curry Man.
That is not Shark Boy and Lava Girl, but okay.
Against Kishin Liger, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Kishin Liger.
La Parka, Suicide, played by Austin Aries, Halloween, I mean, it's Halloween Havoc, so Cyclope's got to be on the card, Hakushi, and Hayabusa.
I mean, this is a match I'd like to watch.
Talented guys flipping around, doing crazy shit.
You know, like, I think if Callum was here, he'd say this is his favorite match on the card.
Now, I get it. Hakushi is not wearing a mask. But
we're
just
all
give him a
wearing
fucking
masks.
mask.
We're all wearing masks.
Yeah, just give him his mask in this picture, you know. Do that. I thought about including PJ Black here as the Darewolf and making him like, you know, like a werewolf type thing. Thought about including Damien 666, Drago, Pindar, and Vibora. But I was like, I'm just going to keep it the 6-on-6. So it's like Suicide is on one side, Manic is on the other side. You got the obvious baby faces like Curry Man and Shark Boy. I think this would be actually like, this could be kind of fun. And Rey Mysterio team got to win.
Yeah, this is the match that I want to watch. And yeah, I guess the Mysterio team wins. But Hayabusa and Hakushi are a great team, and LaParca's great. That's a hard one, man. I don't know.
Maybe Liger wins for his team if you want to go in that direction, but I'd lean more towards Rey Mysterio's team winning. Now, you might actually be more on this match than most people would. This is a Final Testament last man standing match between Karrion Kross and Psycho Sid Vicious.
All right. I'm workshopping in my mind a video in which I compare these two men. That's really weird that you would say that and then preface it by saying, oh, you'd probably like this.
Yeah.
Because I would. I don't know what that says about me, but I would.
I think that it could work, and I think I'd go Sid as the babyface.
Yeah,
because he was getting the fist bumps and stuff. Who's the man?
Kross has to be heel.
Yep.
But Karrion Kross, there's a world where he just should be a main event guy.
If Karrion Kross was exactly the person he is right now, especially if he still had Scarlett with him, good Lord, and you put those two in like 93, dude's fucking main eventing. He's winning championships. He's going crazy.
I think I almost want to say any era but this one.
Maybe,
Karrion Kross is the main event guy.
Probably winning world title in like that 2009 range even and all. Just seems to not keep working for him.
It's a damn shame because he's got something.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, so does AOP. Like Final Testament is the kind of group that if we were fantasy booking and we could only take from the modern roster,
we'd be trying to grab them. Yeah.
And I'm putting them in the main event probably. Because they work. Everything about it works. That's my, passionate plea for, hey, Karrion Kross not so bad.
Yeah.
Sid's winning here because
Sid's winning. Yeah. Hey, who's the man? So yeah.
He was the man.
Then we have another one of our multi-person matches. This one is Schism, Joe Gacy. I'm throwing Dexter Lumis in here. Jagger Reed and Rip Fowler against Sanity. Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane. I spelled Killian wrong on there. Damn. And Sawyer Fulton. Because Sawyer Fulton was part of this before Killian Dane came in.
Yeah. Yep.
Add an extra L in there on the graphic, everybody, in your mind. And this is the Madman Mind Games Hate Man tag match because it's an 8-man tag.
You need help. You need help, okay?
Like, Madman Mind Games Help Me Hate Man tag match. I'm thinking Sanity are the baby faces out of this group.
Yeah. Even knowing what we know now, probably.
Because it's like Sanity had their little bit of kind of babyface-ish booking, whereas Jagger Reed and Rip Fowler never did. Gacy, of course, did. Dexter Lumis did. But I'm just going to assume Dexter Lumis succumbs to the Schism shit. And 4-on-4, 8-man tag, hate man tag, I should say. Madman Mind Games. I'm going Sanity winning.
I like it.
Now we have another multi-person match, and this is the other variation of the Goth Girl Gauntlet. This is where I went, oh no, I'm just going to take the ones that are only known really more so for being just hot. And we're going to put them in a different battle royal. But this is called the Belle of the Brawl. Get it?
Go on. Yes, I get it.
Costume Party Battle Royal.
Fulfill your fantasy was right there, but I respect you for doing your own thing.
We've got Ariel, Shelly Martinez. We've got Eden, a.k.a. Brandy Rhodes, Nightmare Collective. We got Becky Bayless, Cookie. We've got Buggy Nova, Skylar Moon. Not many people would know who she is. I remember when they signed her, and I was like, oh, okay. And she never ended up doing much in NXT. There's the Demon Bunny, Allie. There is the Laurel Van Ness, the Hot Mess, the Reclusa, the Lunatic Lush, what everybody calls Chelsea Green. Penelope Ford. In her, she could totally be the typical, girls dressing up for Halloween in the slutty outfit types. Rebby Hardy. And she's got the whole goth account and everything. Scarlett Bordeaux and Zelina Vega, who loves to cosplay, especially as things like Queen of the Damned and all.
Now,
look at this collection of very attractive people.
Now, is this a regular match or what?
That's Battle Royal.
Okay.
Think of those like costume matches that they would do on Halloween where it was like Eve Torres is like a Ninja Turtle and all that kind of shit. But think of it with just like this group. And they're all that like...
All right, I think Zelina gets the win.
Zelina gets the win, you're right.
That's
and
fair.
It's not a matter of me just saying like she's the hottest or something like that. I was like, yeah, I think that Zelina would win this one. I think I'd go in that direction.
Because I think given the rules that you just laid out, I think Zelina would win.
Now she is the tiniest one, so she would be the easiest to throw out there. But yeah, I'm not going to give the win to Becky Bayless, for instance, or certainly not going to give the win to Ariel or whatever. So it was pretty much down to me of either it goes to Brandy Rhodes, Zelina Vega, Penelope Ford, or Chelsea Green. Were the main ones that I was kind of going around. Thought about Scarlett for it, but yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's basically just, yeah, people would go and lose their shit over this match. Give the people what they want.
I agree.
And I'm sure a lot of people would want this match. It's a cursed chains match. Or Chains of the Dead, whatever it is. Demon King, Finn Balor against the Great Muta, Keiji Muto.
Now, is this a chain match, or did you just add that word in there?
It's chain match, but it's like, you gotta gimmick up the chains a little bit.
Okay, I like it. That's a match I would absolutely watch. I feel bad because Finn Balor never wins anything, but I'd put Muta over 100%.
That to me, I didn't pick a winner on. I figured Demon King Balor is definitely babyface, but I would lean probably towards Muta winning that just because Demon King is kind of like, he's lost his little bit of his luster and all, but you could go either way. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'm down for that. As long as it doesn't end the way that the last Demon King match did.
With a 25-minute ref break?
Botching the fall off the ropes and all. Remember that?
Are we talking about the one with Ronan?
Think so.
Yeah. I never...
Not a great sign-off for the Demon King. I hope he comes back to that at some point.
You will.
That's good enough to be the main event of this night, but it isn't. Because there's a nightmare on Trick or Street fight kind of thing. You know, it's Karma against Rhea Ripley.
That's a match that probably would have main evented at WrestleMania.
Yep.
If they were in the same era. But, yeah, I like it.
Riptide Who can put up to Karma? Well, Rhea Ripley, the Nightmare. The Eradicator. I don't like what they call her, the Eradicator. She's better as the Nightmare.
Riptide 1, 2, 3.
Riptide wins. Gotta go Rhea Ripley. Then we got Deadly Consequences, Circle 8. And the first match we're going to go on that front is a women's War Games match. This was hard to figure out. And I had these people involved in so many other things. So it ended up being TNA EW, Daffney Mischief, Angelina Love, Winter, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue against the NXT group of Lyra Valkyria, Tatum Paxley, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, Cora Jade / Alina Black, and Roxanne Perez. I don't think that this would be a bad match.
I agree.
Now, I wanted to do other stuff with other people. I was going to do something with like Gigi Dolan being involved in the Goth Girl Gauntlet. I was thinking about doing something with Tatum Paxley being involved in the Bella the Brawl match, etc. Ended up, when I started to like put these teams together, I was just like, oh, maybe I'll do Julia Hart and Sky Blue against Lyra and Tatum. No, actually, I could do them against Cora and Roxanne, because Roxanne, you can gimmick her up a little bit, make her part of a Halloween-ish thing. And then I was like, no, maybe I could do Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. And then I went, oh shit, I already have 2 groups of 2 in that, and that's a 6 NXT women thing. And then, kind of just worked itself out like that. NXT's babyface team, by the way.
Yeah, I said babyfaces have to win here.
Yep, and they win.
Yeah, they have to.
Let's go with the head case triple threat match. Who do you think's in this?
Okay, head case triple threat. Al Snow.
He's one.
Head case triple threat. So we've seen Heidenreich already. I don't know.
Typically hang out with your friends on Halloween, so it's Al Snow, Cactus Jack, and Chainsaw Charlie.
Okay, I should have seen this coming. That's ridiculous, Tony.
And you just tell these guys, look, beat the crap out of each other in the way that whatever you want to do. You're friends. You figure it out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I figure Al Snow's babyface, Chainsaw Charlie's heel, Cactus Jack is kind of in tweener. And I'd go Cactus Jack winning.
I would agree with that.
He's the main eventer, you know. So there's more than one Foley match. Yeah, no offense to Jerry Funk.
I agree with what you're saying.
What does everybody want?
Ed.
Probably this match.
Oh, well, also that.
Let's go with a Tables, Ladders, and Scares, a.k.a. a Scareway to Hell match, TLC match, The Brood against the House of Black. Keep it simple.
Yep.
You got Edge, you got Christian, you got Gangrel, you got Malachi Black, you've got Brody King, and you've got Buddy Matthews.
Love it.
They, in their primes, these three against these three, hell yeah, man.
I think I would go with this. I'd go with House of Black winning, probably. But I'd be open to anything.
That's another one that I'm like, you know, I don't really necessarily need to pick a winner. Anybody else can pick a winner. So you want to go House of Black? House of Black works. But I'd like to see that true match happen like that, not just like Gangrel popping up to help Edge in that cage match, you know. Let's go with the Venomous Vixens match. Asuka against Victoria. And you know the whole Venom element of this? Asuka spitting out the mist, Victoria being the Black Widow.
Yep. Asuka's got to win. I wish I was more excited for this.
She is babyface, and I do have her winning.
On paper, it feels like a match that would be exciting. But we know now that the quality is so different. Like Victoria, when she was a thing,
she was wrestling against people that couldn't wrestle.
Yeah, like was one of the best wrestlers, right? But, you know.
You put her up against Asuka. Is she going to be able to hang? Is that going to up like her game and elevate her? Or is that going to be exposing her? Right. I would lean more towards the idea it's probably going to upgrade her. You give her a little bit of time to work with those talent. I think Victoria was talented enough.
I like, you know what? Rare occasion. Mark it down, folks. Tony was more optimistic than me. I'll side with you on that one then.
We have a Snake Pit match. Jake the Snake Roberts against the Viper Randy Orton. I mean, come on.
One of those matches you just have to do, right?
Yeah. If I didn't do that, where would I have used Randy Orton? Technically, I could have used him against a whole bunch of different people. I'd be down for a Randy Orton Bam Bam Bigelow match. I'd be down for a Randy Orton Prime, bunch of other people in their, you know, matches and all, but Jake the Snake against Viper Randy Orton. Jake the Snake, of course, babyface, and of course he's going to lose because you're not going to have Jake the Snake as a babyface lose to beat a heel Randy Orton. He's the Apex Predator. Of course he's going to win.
Yeah, Randy has to win. Sorry.
And then we've got our secondary main event for the whole entire 9-match card thing. A Buried Alive match. The Undertaker with Paul Bearer against Abdullah the Butcher, and I'm giving him Father James Mitchell.
I like it.
Counterbalance Paul Bearer.
Surely he had a manager at some point.
Maybe. But I specifically wanted to have the Sinister Minister opposite Paul Bearer. And I was just like, I can't pass it up. Even if it makes no sense. Have those two involved in this on the side, Buried Alive. There's not many people that are big that could go up against Undertaker that we haven't already seen. And if he's the Butcher and it's the Undertaker, like, yeah, makes sense. Obviously, Taker is the babyface, and obviously Undertaker beats up the Butcher.
I like it. This was a match that should have happened. I wish it did. I wouldn't put Father James Mitchell there. That's throwing me off a bit. But Abdullah the Butcher, Undertaker, I wouldn't use this picture of Undertaker. This would be perfect for the purple Undertaker.
I couldn't find a great picture of that. I couldn't find a great picture of the Ministry one either, because that's the more gothy one. So I was like, I'll go with like the outlaw kind of one. And it fit on the graphic better too. So we're on our final circle of hell, the 9th circle. It's Fright Night. Oh, I typed it wrong on there. Damn, it should say it's Fright Night. Okay. Wow. I hope it doesn't say that wrong on the rest of it. But it's supposed to be it's Fright Night. Hey, I had like 70 graphics on this, everybody. Leave me alone. It's Fright Night is going to, I guess, start, since again, I didn't put these in any order, with the not monster match that you were thinking. This is Aja Kong against Bull Nakano. Now, it's happened. I've not seen it. And I think that originally I was going to do something where it was going to be Aja Kong, Bull Nakano, and Karma against each other, until I was like, oh, I actually want to see Rhea Ripley against Karma.
I would advise you watch the Queen of Villains on Netflix. It's not about either of these women. It's about Dump Matsumoto, but she was, in a group with Bull Nakano. And since we're here, I think you should watch it. Watch the first episode. It's pretty good. Great match here. Oddly enough, because again, your women's matches are the matches that are intriguing me the most. So far, it's the women's matches, the Undertaker match, and the Kane match.
That voodoo doll on a pole, right?
And the voodoo doll on a pole, because that speaks to me on a spiritual level. But it's like,
I think though you would end up, if you look back at this card and you see the full lineup, I think you'd be like, yeah, I'd actually watch, the Karrion Kross and Sicko Sid thing, and
and that as well. You have some good matches, but these women's matches are actually standing out. Maybe it's because, all due respect, they're slim pickings, so you're not like trying to gimmick the fuck out of it.
I mean, there's way more men on this card than women. Yeah,
I like it.
Monster Mash, not the multi-man big thing.
That far.
I actually had down that I would lean more towards Bull Nakano.
I think I'd lean towards Aja Kong. Callum would have to be the tiebreaker. He's not here.
I'm sure he would just roll his eyes.
How the fuck are we still doing this?
Right. So that goes into a final deletion tag team title match of the Hardy Boys, Willow Jeff and Broken Matt against Meng / Haku and Umaga. That's why I didn't want to incorporate them in the head shrinker thing. Regular tag match.
I would want to see this in a way that is shocking to me, because I'm surprised I never thought about it before.
Prime Jeff Matt Hardy with like the gimmicky Halloween, like Willow. He doesn't have to be Willow, but he could wear like a Willow kind of outfit, and Broken Matt, against Prime, Haku, and Umaga. Samoan Savages are winning this. But I think that this could be fucking great.
Yeah, this is one of the more inspired matches on this card so far.
This is the best card out of the whole bunch of them. That's why I'm ending it with the good shit. So remember the whole Dark Order and Raven's Flock thing?
Yeah.
Well, I needed to give one of these people a big group, and I ended up working on, hey, if we really look at these people, who could I put in that kind of position? So it's Raven in a Raven's Rules match, and he's supported by the Flock against Damian Priest with the Dark Order.
That's weird, but okay. I'm not against it. It's just weird. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah, because it's not his group in any fashion whatsoever. But I was like, I'm going to team him up. He's going to be the leader of these little misfits, these street trash misfits. And he's got the baby faces on his side. Raven's got the nest of heels on his side. It's a lumberjack match. Raven rules. So everybody's going to go crazy about this. And since the Flock won the multi-man match, Damian Priest is going to be Raven here.
Street trash. Riff raff. I don't buy that.
But once you watch that,
I would watch it.
Damian Priest, of course, not the most Halloween-y guy, but he could definitely pull off a Halloween-ish thing. And I mean, look at this graphic even. Like, you mean tell me the guy's not dressed for Halloween? Well, maybe not in 2024, but you know what I mean. Then we got to switch over to the real Monster Mash type thing, but we're calling it the Big Beast Buffet.
All right. It should have been called the Monster Mash, but I understand.
We got Bastion Booger, the Beast Mortos, or Black Taurus, whatever you call them, Big Bronson Reed, the Christmas Creature, Giant Gonzalez, Kamala, King Kong Bundy, Leviathan version of Batista, Loch Ness from Dungeon of Doom, Luchasaurus, Mantar, the Missing Link, PCO in the Frankenstein mode, the Yeti, and the ECW Zombie.
And if I had to pick a winner, and I will, I'm going Bundy.
Not the one I picked.
Did you pick Gonzalez?
Nope.
Who'd you pick?
Luchasaurus.
I like Bundy. He's wide. He's
Bundy.
Like, he's wide. You know what I mean? Like that's a dude. He's gonna have a hard time getting over the rope.
Yeah,
Bundy,
you got Big Bronson Reed, you got PCO, you got
also
some big guys.
wide. I mean, like Bronson Reed is a wide boy.
And he's partially in this because of the little stomp that he would do, and they were making him like Godzilla-esque. So I thought about putting Babatunde in here, but he never did anything Halloween-ish enough for me.
But he was big.
He was big. Not as much of a beast. But all these like, Mantar, Missing Link, ACW Zombie. I was like, I'm throwing them all in there with Christmas Creature and shit. This is just pure madness.
Wow, Glenn Jacobs got on this card 3 times.
And a fake version of him.
And a fake version.
Yep.
Is he the king of Halloween?
Maybe he would be. Yeah. And now it's horrifying what he stands for in politics.
That is true. I think he is the king of Halloween.
So our penultimate match here, our final women's match, is a different type of scary for Halloween. AJ Lee against Lita in a Stalker's Web match, where basically AJ Lee is going to be the stalker of Lita. And you're going to kind of get into this like Alexis Lurie, Mickey James, Trish Stratus type stuff. But you're going to go in with the AJ Lee being the big Lita stalker. And with this being a Stalker's Web match, the ring ropes are replaced by spider webs.
I like that. Again, your women's matches are probably the best matches on the card. But yeah, I'm gonna say I put AJ Lee over. It's one of my favorites. Can't do much about that.
She's the heel, but I didn't pick a winner because I was leaning towards the idea of like, do you continue the feud? If you do, is it like just Lita wins and AJ's like, well, I'm not done stalking you? Or is it like AJ Lee wins and Lita's like, I've gained some respect for you. You can stalk me. I'm actually going to be cool with it. Like, there's multiple different ways you could go. But AJ Lee against Lita, I was like, hell yeah, I'd go with that. I thought of a lot about mixing AJ Lee, Lita, Cora Jade, and Roxanne Perez and making that a 4-on-4 with 4 other women. Couldn't think of who to pair them off with. Thought maybe Paige leading a team. And that's when I was like, oh, maybe I'd go Paige, Toni Storm, Harley Cameron, and somebody, Ruby, I guess. And then I was like, do I really want to see that? Or do I want to just throw them in the other match? So AJ Lee and Lita, second to last match. Final of this whole thing. We can't do this without having a Hell in a Cell match. So this is a Firefly Funhouse of Horrors Hell in a Cell match. It's Crow Sting against Bray Wyatt.
I think, again, this is a very shocking card for you. because
Bray Wyatt in my main event
Bray Wyatt's in the main event over Undertaker
against Sting, and instead of Undertaker or something. You would think I would book Undertaker against Sting as well.
Yeah, it's another true thing. You could have done a Boneyard match. I love this. This is a great way to end the show. This is a match I wanted to see.
Would have been great if you could take them in their primes, man.
And they were actually active at the same time. And yeah, you could say that, but like the weird thing with Sting is he was great in TNA. He was great in AEW years after his WWE run. The WWE run just never worked. And I don't know if that's just a case of WWE were determined not to have it work, or if it's just truly like almost like mystical. You know, like
I think it was not allowed.
Yeah, like some things just aren't meant to work.
But I'm picturing this is the Bray Wyatt that's more like not quite just the cult leader Bray Wyatt, but not Fiend version of Bray Wyatt as much. Because I want to see him be able to do more in the ring.
Man, that's crazy. I love this. I'd still put Sting over, but
oh yeah. Babyface Sting wins.
Yeah, but I love it.
And there were so many variations of this that I had. I had things like Sting and Undertaker teaming up. I had Sid against Mankind and all these other people in like a you're all like nuts type of thing that ended up becoming the Murderer's Row thing. Because the more that I started to look at like the people that really sucked that I had on this, the more I was like, all right, I don't want to put them in matches with good people. So that's why like Bam Bam Bigelow's with Kane instead of it being like Bam Bam in the match with a bunch of the other beasts, even though he's, beastish.
It's really fun.
This took a long time to fucking book.
Yeah, and you do this a lot, dude.
So if anybody's like, hey, you never do fantasy booking more than just like an 8-match card or something, look at this.
This is a lot. Admittedly, I'm not gonna lie to you. A good chunk of it's left my brain, but the matches that are
I don't blame you.
The matches that are fantastic have stuck with me.
This is I'm showing you my screenshot. I'm not showing to the rest of the people of the spreadsheet. I had notes about like I wanted to throw the word alarm in there. I have like a red alarm or something. Wanted to do a Chamber of Horrors, didn't figure out how to do that. And there's like that little note about draws on there, but lots more time went into this than I expected to. But once I got the ball rolling, I was like, I gotta finish it. And I kind of want to do another card like this in some way, but I don't know exactly what I could do.
We have to do we have to get like a Christmas card together or something.
A Christmas card?
Yeah.
Like
shit,
you said a Christmas card.
Like a Christmas, I like that. It's totally accidental.
Maybe a Christmas creature makes another appearance there. But yeah, I don't know, like maybe some kind of a Money in the Bank type thing with like all people that are like rich people gimmicks or something, or maybe something about the Great American Bash where it's like the ultimate rah-rah Americans versus foreign fanatics thing.
That's so funny that you really gravitate towards that. That was one Survivor Series.
It's just burnt into my brain. Yeah.
That was 1 year, and it's a really, really bad match.
And yet, I think of it all the fucking time with that. Yeah.
Literally all the time. It's so funny.
So that's a possibility. It's, it's an option to play around with some of those things. So if anybody is interested in us doing some kind of other thing like that in the future, maybe something where even like Rob and I decide on these matches together instead of just me doing it on my own or whatever, maybe we can play around with that too. And overall, I mean, that is my my ultimate Halloween Havoc fantasy spooking.
Yeah, it was really good. I'm amazed at the amount of effort that you gave. I'm always amazed by that. I genuinely think you're such a clever person.
I was like, wait, this could go in a lot of ways. I genuinely think you need help. I genuinely think.
I mean, I've said that a couple times in the podcast. I do.
It's not wrong.
You know, yet it's not. But I love you anyway, and I think you're an incredibly creative person.
So it's this is my thing from last year where we did the big Marvel and DC Ultimate multi-card crazy extravaganza thing. I think this kind of fills that void for me. So I don't know if we're going to do any more like this in the rest of the year, but the Pick Your Poison tier is always means to try to make sure that that happens. Keep in mind, everybody, if you like this kind of stuff. And I kind of like this idea about doing this big foreign fanatics versus patriotic American, Great American Bash type thing. I might have to write some notes about that and work on that and do that around like the 4th of July next year, maybe. I don't know. That might be the one we do. But if you got any suggestions, if you think of somebody that I forgot off of this, where you're like, I can't believe that you forgot about this person, or like maybe you should have incorporated the Black Spider in here, or the Black Scorpion, I mean, or the Spider even, Fabulous Moolah. Maybe I should have incorporated her. Throw in the multi-woman thing. Do that. Just throw them all into those. But if I did forget somebody, let me know. Maybe I'll end up leaving a comment and retort of like, if I had that person, I would switch this person around instead or something. I don't know. I don't know what's happened in the meantime from when we were recording this to when this gets uploaded, but hopefully it's been good stuff and that you've been enjoying it. And I don't know what the game plan is for the podcast right now, so I can't be sure about like, and stay tuned for the next episode of the Hot Tags coming up on Friday or something like that. But it might be, maybe not. I don't know. We're going to have to see. But keep in mind that if you follow Smark Out Moment all over the place, you make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Make sure you're checking out the Linktree stuff that we have. As long as you're following all that stuff, you're going to find out eventually what's going on. So go to amangotree.com, like and follow and share and favorite, subscribe to all those things there. Make sure that you are checking out what is happening with the fantasy league. I don't know what's happening. I'm probably still losing, but we'll see. And make sure you're checking out what Rob's up to too.
I hope I'm winning fantasy league. And this is interesting because this is going to be like 3 weeks in advance, maybe. Mm-hmm. So hopefully things are going great.
Hopefully we had a great bad blood.
Hopefully we had a great bad blood. Hopefully I'm telling you, follow Dude Fleece, and I somehow have like all this cool shit going on. But one thing I can pretty much assuredly tell you, follow Fightful and follow this podcast and whatever's going on. You can find me at Dude Fleece.
Hopefully nobody ended up doing anything where when I talk about them on this thing where it's like, what a great match it would be with so-and-so, and then they like are a disgusting human being or something. If that's the case, we recorded this on the 29th into the 30th. Do not castrate us for the wrong things. But it is 12:23.
You did, for the record, though, you did add already canceled people on this card. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yada yada. I gotta get some Halloween Havoc in there somehow.
Yeah, like I think you tried to put Lars Sullivan over in a match.
Nah, he didn't win. Sinski wins.
Okay, but he came close.
He came close, but close but no cigar. Which is more than I could say about what he tried to do online with some other people.
Jesus Christ. Go home.
Well, we are going to go home, everybody, and we will see you next time with whatever it is that is popping up next. Hopefully you enjoyed everything in the meantime. Hopefully you enjoy that next, and adios for now. This has been another Smark Out Moment, and we are being counted out.